All right, so I'm going to share my story real quick. And just because sometimes it's a little easier for me to read, forgive me, I'm going to read. All right, that picture in the middle, 2015, that's me, part-time remote bookkeeper, full-time babysitter, and homeschooling 4 kids. I needed naps when the toddler napped, and I'd make sure my oldest had his assignments. And while I turned on Blue's Clues for the 2 kinder kids, I had to take a nap. So many days I felt like I was moving in slow motion. I had no idea this pregnancy would be so tough, but do we ever? I was barely able to eat. I wasn't gaining the desired weight, and I even began losing weight. This concerned the doctors and frankly worried me. On top of that, I was struggling with severe pain in my mouth, and I was foggy-headed often. I was fighting extreme fatigue and quite the emotional mess with all kinds of digestive woes. No details needed. Do you know what it feels like to be out of control of your emotions? I avoided everything from the grocery store and even talking to people at church. I was either crying or taking something personal or yelling over the silliest things all the time. I heard my friend Lisa Tucker was on a health journey, and I reached out to her and I told her about all the physical things that I had been dealing with, but I never mentioned any of the mental health things because I watched what my mom went through with mental health, and it was bad enough that at one time my brothers and I were taken away from her for a season. I never shared that with anyone before, and it wasn't going to now. I was afraid of being seen as an unfit mother. The first thing Lisa did was listen to me. She considered all of me. She didn't start naming what I had wrong or suggesting one thing for one thing. She actually was able to relate to some of what I was going through and shared with me what was helping her. Diet and supplements were a huge part of that. So she gave me a simple soul program that I used daily, and I started to have relief in my body in just a few days. The coolest part is that even after delivering my daughter and through breastfeeding, I still used my herbs and adjusted the foods I ate, and I was still feeling better, like more better, if that's a thing. 6 months later, my husband was still watching me change all of our food and use these soul things. And he says, your fuse is a lot longer. 2 things happened here. 1, I was able to think about what he said. And 2, I cracked a wise comment back and I said, you try hanging out with 4 small kids and a teenager all day and see how long your fuse is. And he was right though, because I was able to respond. I was able to think clearly about everything around me. So why do I have a picture of 2008? That's just a timestamp of when I truly began to believe that all of my mental and physical challenges were hereditary because of my mom. I really thought that was it. And I felt pretty trapped and discouraged over that. Okay, so fast forward to that picture in 2020. I'm still homeschooling. I didn't quit. I even started my own co-op during the pandemic. I'm still babysitting and I'm still sharing my soul story so I can help others while contributing to our family's financial picture. It's okay if you came tonight just looking for one thing, but you're far more complex and wonderful. You were designed with the ability to heal. So soul really helped me find that in myself and in others.